Hi everybody. Grunt Paul Life is a daily reminder of some of the timeless life lessons, thoughts, and values as seen through the eyes of a Marine sergeant who is now a grandfather. Sarge, myself, I've spent 20 years in education and coaching, teaching history, Bible, counseling young people, while using the life lessons learned from my time in the military. I deployed multiple times and was injured while defending my family, my faith, and the American values. I've spent the last 8 years working with veterans using fitness to help them get off the couch and get back into life. Welcome to episode number 1. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Even before boot camp, I remember my Marine recruiter saying these words, and I was, what does this mean? I was clueless. Every single day in boot camp, while we're doing up-downs, while we're doing push-ups, while we're marching, you would hear it over and over and over again. Improvise, adapt, overcome. But what does that mean? Well, if you're improvising, it means you're adapting and performing spontaneously. So in other words, it's not part of the plan, or making something out of what's available. You know, when I think about improvising, I think of a quote from the movie that has the Joker. It says, "No one panics as long as it's part of the plan. It could be a horrible outcome, but people don't panic. They lose their minds, however, when it doesn't go part of the plan." In the last 20 years of coaching and in military leadership, I've seen thousands of plans. I've made thousands of plans. How to beat this team, how to work on this movement, how to do this mission. They've come, they go. But in all honesty, only about 15% of plans work out as you outline them. The phrase being able to think on your feet is not always about using your gut. Hey, I'm coaching this team and we're going to do this crazy play. That works sometimes. Most of the time, it's abject failure. However, if you can think on your feet, if you have spent time thinking and training for your reactions. The Bears quarterback in 1985 was a gentleman by the name of Jim McMahon. He would talk about how he would watch game film of the opposition, and he would look for cues. And that would be able to trigger him to be able to go off the play. And in life, that's what we need to do. We need to look for different cues. When I was a coach, I wanted all my players, and I would teach them this, and I would reinforce it, that I wanted them to see their opponents in a way that it wasn't just do this. I wanted them to see their opponents. You could do this, you could do this, you can move the ball this way, you could pass over his head this way, you can do a bounce pass. It doesn't have to be according to a plan, but I want you to be able to look, see, feel. In the military, you're taught to think ahead, to think about the what ifs. Hey, if I go around this corner, what if there's more bad guys? What if they have automatic weapons? What if they have higher ground? What if you don't have any cover, if you don't have any concealment? What if you're hurt? What if? Good military leaders always think through the what ifs. And when you do that, that is preparing. But it also allows you to improvise. You see, you can't just do the plan. See, if you do the plan, good chance it's going to get you killed. And if you get killed, then it's going to get your teammates killed. I coached high school wrestling for about 8 years. And I truly worked with my players on 8 to 10 moves. And that was it. But I would drill them on those moves again and again and again and again and again. I would get them in shape. Then I'd do those same moves. Okay, you can't use your left knee. What do? But you have to do that move. Okay, your right knee's trapped. What do? Okay, your right arm's trapped. Okay, you're underneath this. Okay, he's got you here. Okay, you're tired. Do 10 burpees and then try and do that move. And I would drill, and I would drill, and I would drill those, and try to teach my wrestlers the fundamentals, and not these gotcha flashy type of moves. And I wanted my wrestlers to be able to adapt those 8 to 10 moves to their opponents, to their strengths and their weaknesses. Because you know what? You could face the same opponent 3 times in a day. And it could be 3 totally different ways and 3 totally different approaches that you can do to that move. Now, the way that you as an individual can improvise and adapt and overcome well is that you know your fundamentals so well that you don't even think about it. I'm going to repeat that. I used to spend half of my practices drilling the fundamentals, drilling the fundamentals, drilling how to pass the ball, drilling how to set a screen, drilling how to box out, drilling how to do a double leg takedown, drilling. When I was a Marine, rifle discipline. You're up, you see me, I'm down. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? What is your discipline in a firefight? Knowing your cover and concealment. And now, the question I have to ask you is, what are your life fundamentals? What are you doing in your life that you do over and over and over, but you do it so well that you don't have to think about it, so you can improvise? If you're in sales, what do you do so well that you can pivot to talk to your clients? If you're a trainer, what do you do so well that you see, oh, their form is wrong? And you could see it from across the room that their form is wrong. Or you could see it across the room, that person has an ankle injury. Or you could see it across the room, that person's favoring their knee. How do you train that person? How do you adjust on the fly? When you see your defender is standing straight up, how do you cross over and take the ball to the hole? Or do a single leg takedown? You have to know the fundamentals in your life so well that you don't have to think about it. Every single day, every single opponent, every single business sale, every single life opportunity, every single time you lift weights, every single song that you sing, you have to adapt. You have to adapt. My back's a little stiff, so I'm going to have to use more leg drive when you're doing a power clean. I'm really tired, so when I do this deadlift, I'm going to have to really drive forward. You know, I'm dealing with something with life issues today, so I'm going to talk to my sales client. I'm going to have to do something different. I'm going to have to adapt. Oh, the person coming in, they're having a bad day. What do I do differently? How do I make an adjustment? Adapt, adapt, adapt. I remember in one tournament, one of my wrestlers ended up wrestling the same person 3 times. He beat him 3 different ways because he had to adapt every single time. Because the first time he was strong, the second time he had tweaked his ankle a little bit, so he had to play off his left foot. And the third time he wrestled him, he was tired. He had to wrestle a totally different way. And that's what happens in life. Because every single day, every single opportunity, every single thing is different. Because you know, you're different. I'm different. When you think about it, there could be 10,000 things that are different. It's hotter. It's colder. We're in the air conditioning. I just got a fight with my wife. Oh, I just had a situation with my daughter. Oh, I just had a situation with my son. Oh, I just had to spend money I didn't think I had. Oh, I just got some money I didn't think I had. Oh, I hurt my ankle. Oh, I've got a headache. Oh, I'm hungry. You know, every single day is different. The Apostle Paul talks about it in the New Testament, about your spiritual life. He says, not every day is the same, and that I have to die daily to my nature. I have to die daily to my plan and adapt to the Lord's plan. You know, when I think about it, I have to laugh. What my plan was for my life 5 years ago, 3 years ago, last year, 6 months ago, 2 months ago. Take a second and think back to everything that has changed in that time. Lastly, is overcome. Improvise, adapt, overcome. You know, see, this is where the rubber meets the road. But overcome is very simple. It's all about mental toughness. Hey, Sarge, the enemy is more talented. Our opponent's more talented. My competitor is more talented. So how are you going to outwork him? How much pain and time are you willing to go through to get the sale? How much pain and time are you willing to do the extra legwork? To do the extra study? To work on your vocals? You know what? The enemy, my opponent, Joe down the street, he has more advantages than me. He's richer. He's this. He's that. So, can he push through and do it and overcome when he's hungry? When he's tired? When you've had to go 2 more miles than he has? When you've had to carry a bigger burden? Yeah, but Sarge, that's a heavy burden. There's a verse that talks to me and says, God has not given us anything that we cannot handle. But it's hard. Yes, it's hard. But God has given us nothing that we can't handle. But you have to take that first step out in faith. I remember seeing different movies, you know, hey, if you don't figure this thing out, you don't get to go home. Or you won't have a home. In the military, if you don't figure out how to take care of the enemy, you're not going home. Or you're going home in a box. And more than likely, your friends are going home in a box too. You know, (1986). We're in the year 2020. (24 years). 34 years. Excuse me. My drill instructor drilled this thought. You need to be able to improvise, to adapt, to overcome, into my head. And you know what? That has become the basis of my relationships with my wife, with my daughters, with my granddaughter, with my employers, with my teams, with my clients, with my fellow veterans. I wish that I'd always been able to do that. I wish that I had been able to hold this standard. That's why it's a timeless life lesson. Trying to pass it down. This has been our first little talk. I look forward to more. Next couple days, the second one that I'm going to be talking about, and I'm going to talk to you about the parable of the 99 sheep. Podcast 2. Thank you. You guys have a great day.